Have you ever felt like the human body speaks a secret language, whispering truths that even the mind might struggle to articulate? Imagine this, a woman vibrant and composed, yet her body begins to betray subtle signals. Signals that hint at something deeper, an unfulfilled desire, a longing for intimacy that has been tucked away, unaddressed for some time. Could you spot these signs? More importantly, would you know what they mean? Welcome, curious minds and attentive hearts, to a journey that blends ancient wisdom with modern insight. Today we're diving into the fascinating and sometimes mysterious ways a woman's body communicates when she hasn't experienced physical intimacy for a long time. You might think, why does this matter? Because understanding these signs isn't just about decoding attraction, it's about cultivating deeper connections, respect, and mutual awareness. Think you know all about attraction. You're probably familiar with the obvious signs, flirty smiles, playful touches. But what if I told you there's more beneath the surface? Much more. The Stoics, masters of observation, believed that true wisdom lies in the details. They understood that the body often reveals what the mind tries to keep hidden. In this video, we'll explore 7 remarkable signs that a woman's body might display when her longing for connection resurfaces. Each sign is a whisper, an invitation to look closer, to understand more profoundly. And by the end, you'll not only learn to recognize these signs, but you'll also discover how to respond in a way that builds trust and deepens your connection. Ready to unlock this knowledge? Let's begin with the first sign, lip trembling. Stay with me, you won't want to miss what's coming. 1. Lip trembling. Picture this. You're in a conversation, the energy between you palpable, and suddenly, her lips begin to tremble. At first, it's almost imperceptible, a faint quiver that might escape your notice. But if you look closer, you'll see that this subtle movement holds a world of meaning. What's going on here? Why would her lips, of all things, betray her composure? The lips, as you might know, are among the most sensitive parts of the body, packed with nerve endings that respond to emotions, tension, and desire. When a woman hasn't experienced intimacy for an extended period, her body may unconsciously amplify its responses in moments of attraction or heightened emotion. This trembling isn't random. It's her nervous system reacting, a blend of excitement and vulnerability surfacing in a delicate dance. But let's delve deeper. Why trembling? This physical reaction is a product of the body's sympathetic nervous system kicking into gear. Imagine the same way your hands might shake when you're about to give a speech, or how your heart races before an important event. Her lips tremble because in that moment her body perceives the potential for intimacy as both thrilling and slightly intimidating. What does this mean for you? It's a sign that she's drawn to you, but it's also a cue to proceed with care. This trembling speaks of eagerness mingled with uncertainty. Maybe she hasn't been close to someone in a long time, and while her body is saying, "I'm ready," her mind might still be catching up. Stoicism teaches us to embrace patience and observe life's subtleties, and this situation is no different. By tuning into her body language, you gain a deeper understanding of her emotional state. So how do you handle it? First, don't call attention to it. Doing so might embarrass her or make her self-conscious. Instead, focus on making her feel comfortable and at ease. A light, engaging conversation, steady eye contact, and a calm demeanor can work wonders here. Let her know, through your actions, that she's safe with you. Allow her body language to guide the rhythm of your interaction. After all, connection isn't about rushing. It's about building a foundation where both of you feel secure. Lip trembling, though subtle, is a powerful indicator of attraction mixed with vulnerability. It tells you she's navigating the complex waters of desire and caution. And if you approach her with sensitivity, you can turn this fleeting moment into the beginning of a meaningful connection. But this is just the start. There's so much more her body might be telling you. Curious to discover the next hidden sign? Keep watching, because things are about to get even more intriguing. 2. Prolonged eye contact or shy glances. Have you ever felt the weight of someone's gaze lingering just a little longer than usual? Or perhaps caught someone stealing quick, fleeting glances your way, as if they were drawn to you but hesitant to show it. When it comes to a woman who hasn't been intimate in a while, her eyes become one of the most revealing windows into her inner world. Let's talk about eye contact. It's powerful, isn't it? There's something deeply magnetic about locking eyes with someone, feeling that unspoken connection spark in the space between. For a woman who's experiencing rekindled feelings of attraction after a period of abstinence, her gaze will speak volumes, sometimes with bold intensity, other times with a quiet, almost shy allure. If she's confident, you'll notice her holding eye contact with a certain deliberateness. Her eyes might linger on yours just a beat too long, creating a sense of intimacy that's hard to ignore. This isn't a coincidence. She's inviting you to connect on a deeper level, using her eyes to communicate what her words might not yet be ready to say. But not every woman will express herself so openly. For some, especially those who feel a mix of desire and vulnerability, the signs manifest differently. Instead of steady eye contact, you might notice her sneaking glances when she thinks you're not looking. Her eyes flit to you, then dart away, as if caught in the act of revealing too much. It's a delicate dance of curiosity and restraint, and each glance is a silent message. I see you and I'm drawn to you, but I'm not quite ready to show it fully. Why does this happen? It's all about the interplay of emotions. After a long time without intimacy, her body and mind are reawakening to the possibility of connection. She's testing the waters, gauging your response while managing her own hesitations. These subtle shifts in eye contact signal attraction, but they also reflect her internal dialogue, a mix of excitement and uncertainty. So how do you respond when you notice this? The key is to match her energy while creating a space where she feels comfortable and seen. If she holds your gaze, reciprocate with warmth and confidence. Let your eyes communicate reassurance, signaling that she's safe to explore these feelings with you. If she's more reserved, acknowledge those shy glances with a gentle smile or a soft, steady look. It's about fostering a connection without overwhelming her. And now let me turn this over to you. Have you ever noticed someone giving you those lingering looks or shy glances? How did it make you feel? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories or thoughts on this subtle but powerful form of communication. While you're here, don't forget to like this video if you're finding these insights helpful. Your engagement helps us bring more of this content to those who value it, and it lets me know that we're on the right track. Together, we're uncovering the fascinating dynamics of human connection, one sign at a time. And trust me, there's still so much more to discover, so stay tuned for the next captivating clue. 3. Lip biting. There's something inherently captivating about the subtle way a woman interacts with her own lips. It's a gesture so small, yet it can command attention and spark curiosity. Imagine this. You're talking with her, and as the conversation flows, you notice she begins to lightly bite or tug at her bottom lip. This seemingly innocent act carries layers of meaning, especially if she hasn't experienced intimacy in a long time. Lip biting is one of the most unconscious yet sensual gestures a woman can make. It's her body's way of channeling tension, an outlet for the buildup of emotions she may not yet be ready to express outright. When a woman bites her lip in your presence, it's often a blend of anticipation and self-restraint. Her body is reacting to an internal tug of war, the desire to let her guard down clashing with the instinct to hold back. But why the lips? The lips are incredibly sensitive, loaded with nerve endings that respond to even the slightest stimulation. They're also deeply tied to our emotions and desires. When she bites her lip, it's more than just a nervous habit. It's a physical manifestation of what's simmering beneath the surface. This act might be her way of tempering the rising heat of attraction, a way to regulate her own excitement without giving too much away. Now consider the context. If she hasn't been intimate in a while, this behavior takes on even greater significance. Physical longing, like any form of unexpressed energy, builds over time. When she's around someone who stirs those dormant feelings, her body might instinctively react with heightened sensitivity. Lip biting, in this scenario, becomes a signal, a silent yet powerful indicator that her mind and body are reawakening to the idea of connection. But it's not just about attraction. It can also be a sign of inner conflict. She may feel drawn to you yet cautious, aware of the risks that come with vulnerability. Lip biting, then, becomes a way to navigate this delicate balance. It's a form of restraint, a signal that she's interested but might need more time to fully open up. What should you do if you notice this? The best approach is to remain calm and attentive. Don't point it out or tease her about it. Instead, let her body language guide the flow of your interaction. Engage her in light, meaningful conversation, creating a comfortable space where she can let her guard down at her own pace. Remember, her lip biting isn't just a random action, it's an invitation to connect more deeply, but one that requires patience and sensitivity. In Stoicism, we learn to observe without judgment, to recognize the deeper truths beneath surface-level behavior. Lip biting is one of those truths. It speaks to a longing for connection tempered by caution, a mix of eagerness and restraint. By understanding this, you're not just noticing a physical gesture, you're stepping into the realm of emotional intelligence, where real connections are built. Each bite of her lip tells a story, one that's as much about her readiness as it is about her hesitation. Pay attention, remain present, and let her lead the way. This small yet revealing gesture is just another chapter in the complex narrative of human attraction. 4. Hip or bum movement. Have you ever found your attention drawn to the way someone moves, the subtle rhythm of their steps, or the unconscious sway of their hips? Movement can be one of the most telling indicators of attraction, and for a woman who hasn't been intimate in a long time, this becomes even more pronounced. It's not about deliberate gestures. Instead, it's her body's natural response to the chemistry brewing beneath the surface. Let's paint the scene. You're standing together, perhaps in conversation, or even just sharing the same space. Without realizing it, her hips begin to sway slightly more than usual, her posture shifts, and her stance becomes fluid and dynamic. This isn't necessarily a conscious act. Her body, attuned to the energy between you, is reacting in a way that subtly highlights her femininity. Why does this happen? The hips are a central point of movement, often unconsciously involved in expressing physical attraction. When a woman feels drawn to someone, her body might instinctively signal readiness for connection through these subtle movements. For a woman who hasn't experienced intimacy for a while, this response can become even more apparent. Her body, having stored up physical tension, finds ways to express it, whether she's fully aware of it or not. The sway of her hips, the way she shifts her weight from one foot to the other, or even how she positions herself in relation to you, these are all signs of her subconscious working in tandem with her emotions. It's as if her body is saying, "I'm here, I'm present, and I'm drawn to you." What makes this even more intriguing is that these movements often come with a sense of natural grace, a kind of magnetism that's hard to ignore. However, it's important to remember that these physical cues are not always intentional. She might not even realize that her movements have become more fluid or pronounced in your presence. This is where understanding and mindfulness come into play. Stoicism teaches us to observe without imposing our interpretations too quickly. By simply noticing these changes, you gain insight into her feelings without making assumptions or rushing the moment. Now, here's the nuance. These movements can also stem from a blend of excitement and caution. After a period of celibacy, stepping into the realm of attraction again can feel both exhilarating and vulnerable. Her hips might sway with confidence, but they could also carry a subtle hesitance, signaling that she's exploring these feelings cautiously. It's a delicate balance of inviting attention while maintaining a sense of control over her own pace. So how should you respond? The key is to match her energy, not to amplify it or call undue attention to it. Engage her with respect and a sense of ease. If you're walking together, for instance, mirror her pace, allowing the natural rhythm of your interaction to build. If you're standing nearby, maintain a relaxed and open posture, signaling that you're attuned to her without pressuring her. The beauty of this dynamic lies in its subtlety. It's a reminder that attraction often speaks through quiet, almost imperceptible gestures. The way her body moves is a reflection of her comfort level, and the connection she feels with you. By tuning into these signals and responding with patience and respect, you're creating a foundation for a deeper, more authentic bond. In these moments, her movements are not just about physical attraction. They're about reawakening a part of herself that's been dormant. Each step, each shift, is a silent affirmation of her readiness to connect. Embrace this with mindfulness, and you'll find that even the smallest gestures can carry profound meaning. 5. Eye movements. Have you ever caught someone looking at you in a way that seemed to reveal more than words ever could? A glance that lingers just a second too long, or perhaps eyes that seem to dart away the moment you notice. These subtle shifts in eye movement hold a wealth of unspoken communication. And for a woman who hasn't experienced intimacy in a while, her eyes might tell you more than she realizes. When a woman feels attraction, her eyes naturally gravitate toward the object of her interest. But it's not always the straightforward gaze you might expect. Instead, her eyes might move in quick, subtle patterns darting from your face to your lips, then to your hands, and back again. Each of these micro-movements is her body's way of exploring the potential connection in front of her. Without saying a word, her eyes might linger on areas that evoke thoughts of intimacy. Your chest, your hands, or perhaps your lips. Why does this happen? Eye movements are closely tied to our subconscious desires. When attraction builds, our gaze tends to follow our thoughts, often revealing what we find most intriguing or alluring. For a woman who hasn't been intimate for a long time, these movements might be more frequent or pronounced, as her mind and body work together to process the emotions she's experiencing. She's not just looking, she's studying, imagining, and feeling. But there's more to this than just physical attraction. Her eye movements might also reflect a quiet conflict within her. She might be drawn to you, but unsure of how to act on those feelings. This inner tension can cause her gaze to shift between bold curiosity and cautious avoidance. It's the classic push-pull dynamic, a desire to connect tempered by a fear of vulnerability. Her eyes become the battlefield where these emotions play out. So what should you do when you notice her eyes telling a story that her words might not? The first step is simple. Remain composed and present. If her eyes linger on you, let her know you've noticed by offering a warm, steady gaze in return. This isn't about making her feel self-conscious, it's about acknowledging the connection she's testing. If she's more reserved, stealing glances but quickly looking away, respect that too. A soft smile can go a long way in reassuring her that it's safe to explore this dynamic at her own pace. Now I'm curious. Have you ever found yourself in a moment like this, where the unspoken exchange of glances seemed to say more than words could? Share your experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you've navigated these silent conversations. If you're finding this exploration of subtle attraction enlightening, don't forget to like this video. Your support helps us dive deeper into the intricate world of human connection and attraction. And remember, each sign we uncover is a step closer to understanding not just others, but also ourselves. There's still so much more to discover. Stay with me because the next sign is one of the most intriguing yet. You won't want to miss it. 6. Sweating. Imagine this. The room is perfectly cool, the conversation light and effortless, yet you notice a faint sheen on her forehead or perhaps a slight dampness in her palms when your hands brush. At first glance, it might seem purely incidental, a natural response to the environment. But in reality, it could be something far more intriguing. Sweating, in the context of attraction, especially for a woman who hasn't been intimate in a long time, can reveal more than meets the eye. Sweating is one of the body's most primal responses. Controlled by the autonomic nervous system, it often kicks in during moments of heightened emotion, be it stress, excitement, or arousal. When a woman feels a physical or emotional pull towards someone, her body may activate this response unconsciously. It's not just about temperature regulation. It's about her body preparing for connection, even if her mind is still catching up. Why does this happen? When a person experiences attraction, their heart rate can increase and blood flow accelerates. This triggers the body's fight or flight mechanism, even in low-stress situations, leading to a light layer of sweat. For a woman who hasn't had intimate experiences in some time, these reactions can be more pronounced. Her body, unused to processing such stimuli for a while, becomes hyper-aware, amplifying the physical signs of her emotional state. But what makes this even more fascinating is the dual nature of sweating in this context. It's a blend of excitement and nervousness. On one hand, it signals that she's experiencing a physical pull toward you, a sense of anticipation for what could unfold. On the other, it reveals her vulnerability, an acknowledgement that opening up after a period of emotional or physical dormancy is both thrilling and intimidating. You might notice her subtly wiping her palms on her clothing or brushing her hair back to clear her forehead. These are small, almost imperceptible acts of self-regulation, her attempt to manage the physiological responses she may not even fully understand. This is where your awareness comes into play. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its call for patience and calm observation. Recognizing her sweating as a sign of attraction allows you to approach her with sensitivity. You don't need to mention it or draw attention to it. Instead, your role is to create an environment where she feels at ease. Engage her in light-hearted conversation or share a story that makes her laugh. Laughter, after all, has its own way of easing tension and dissolving nerves. It's essential to remember that sweating, in this case, isn't something she can control, nor is it a flaw to be noticed. It's simply her body's way of expressing a powerful mix of emotions, desire, excitement, and a bit of anxiety. When you respond with calmness and confidence, you help her move past the self-consciousness that might accompany this physical reaction. In moments like these, it's not just about what's happening on the surface. Her body is communicating something deeper, something she may not even have the words for yet. By staying present, grounded, and attentive, you create a space where her feelings can unfold naturally, allowing the connection between you to deepen without pressure or pretense. Sweating, as subtle as it may seem, is yet another way the body reveals its truth. And when you understand its role in attraction, you gain a greater appreciation for the intricate dance of human connection. 7. Nipple hardening. Of all the physical signs that signal attraction, few are as intimate and revealing as nipple hardening. It's a physiological reaction that can occur when a woman experiences heightened emotional or physical arousal. And for a woman who hasn't had intimacy in a long time, this response can be particularly noticeable. It's a silent, involuntary cue that her body is awakening to the chemistry between you. Nipple hardening is a direct result of the body's arousal system being activated. When a woman feels excitement, whether from a touch, a glance, or even the anticipation of closeness, her nervous system responds by sending signals to increase blood flow to certain areas of her body. The nipples, being highly sensitive with a dense concentration of nerve endings, react almost immediately, becoming firm and more pronounced. But why does this happen? It's not just about physical stimulation, it's about the body preparing for potential intimacy. Nipple hardening is a subtle yet powerful sign of arousal, one that speaks to the body's readiness for connection. For a woman who hasn't experienced such feelings in a while, this reaction can be both exciting and a little surprising. It's her body's way of saying, "I feel something," even if her mind hasn't fully processed those emotions yet. However, this reaction doesn't occur in isolation. It's often accompanied by a cascade of other physical and emotional signals, an increased heartbeat, a warm flush to her skin, or a deeper breath when she's near you. Together, these signs paint a picture of a woman who is gradually opening herself up to the possibility of intimacy after a period of dormancy. It's also important to recognize the context in which this happens. For many women, nipple hardening can occur even in seemingly non-intimate settings, such as during a meaningful conversation or a moment of shared laughter. The key factor isn't the environment, but the connection, the spark of attraction that ignites her body's natural responses. But let's not forget the emotional aspect. This physical reaction can also bring with it a sense of vulnerability. She might be aware of what's happening to her body and feel a mix of excitement and self-consciousness. After all, this is a deeply personal reaction, one that she can't control or conceal easily, especially if her clothing makes it more noticeable. So how should you respond if you notice this? The answer is simple, with discretion and respect. Nipple hardening, while a sign of attraction isn't something that should be pointed out or commented on. Instead, treat it as one more piece of the unspoken dialogue between you. By remaining calm and focused on the overall connection, you allow her to feel comfortable and confident in your presence. This is where the principles of Stoicism come into play. By exercising self-control and maintaining your composure, you demonstrate an understanding of the deeper emotional dynamics at work. Attraction is about more than physical cues. It's about creating a space where both people feel safe to express their feelings without fear of judgment or embarrassment. In these moments, what matters most is your ability to stay grounded and present. Her body is communicating something profound, and by responding with quiet confidence, you show that you're attuned to her needs. Nipple hardening, like the other signs we've discussed, is a natural part of the body's language of attraction, a language that, when understood, can lead to a deeper, more meaningful connection. And there you have it. 7 powerful signs that a woman's body might display when she hasn't experienced intimacy in a while. Each sign, from the subtle trembling of her lips to the involuntary hardening of her nipples, tells a unique story of attraction, vulnerability, and desire. These aren't just random physical reactions, they're deeply connected to her emotions and the complex interplay between her mind and body. But let's not forget the key takeaway here. Understanding these signs is not about taking advantage of them. It's about building trust, fostering genuine connections, and showing respect for her boundaries. Attraction is a dance, and each of these signals serves as a rhythm in that dance. It's your role to listen, observe, and move in harmony with her pace. Remember, Stoicism teaches us the value of patience and mindfulness. These principles are especially crucial when navigating the realm of attraction and intimacy. By being attuned to her physical cues and responding with calm confidence, you create a space where she feels safe to explore her feelings and desires. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these signs have you noticed in your own inner opinions? Have you ever been caught off guard by the subtle ways attraction reveals itself? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. It's through sharing and learning from each other that we grow. If you found this journey insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. By doing so, you'll help us reach more people who, like you, are seeking to deepen their understanding of human connection. And if you know someone who would benefit from these insights, share this video with them. Together we can spread the wisdom and help others navigate the beautiful complexities of attraction. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. Until next time, stay mindful, stay curious, and remember, the most meaningful connections are built on mutual understanding and respect.